NBC.org/RSV to learn more.
All right, welcome back to NBC 23. Now, I am joined by a special guest. We have Joseph M. Caparuso, doctor, and he is a Futuro Clinical Trials, a medical professional here in the Rio Grande Valley. And you know what? It is National Bunion Day, so Dr. Caparuso is going to be explaining what that means and what we need to keep in mind for today. So thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a great day to be here. So a bunion deformity is actually a deformity of the great toe joint.
Okay.
Where the great toe moves closer to the second toe, and the bone before that, it's called the first metatarsal, protrudes out. And that's what people see. They see that first metatarsal head coming out a little bit and rubbing against the shoes and causing problems. That's the bunion. And you get the bunion because of hereditary mostly. What happens is mom, dad, grandma, grandpa have a bunion.
Okay.
And then what happens is it's passed on. Most people have flat feet also with bunion deformities, and that's what causes it to form even more.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting because that was one of our first questions. What exactly is a bunion? You know, we kind of know, but not really, so that's really helpful. Now, I understand that there are certain things that we can do aside from regular treatment. There are things like clinical trials. What exactly does that mean?
Clinical trials are companies looking to help test different medicines, in this case looking at postoperative pain.
Okay.
And so the bunion is used as a deformity to correct, to cause the postoperative pain. The postoperative pain is then treated either by injections, by medicine by mouth, or IV medicines. And these medicines are trying to replace opioids. As we know, is a big problem in the United States with opioids and around the world.
Okay.
And so these medicines are non-addictive and non-opioids. So now you can help take away that pain without causing someone to become addicted to medicines.
Okay, I understand. And so because it's National Bunion Day, we want to spread awareness. We want people to understand what they should do. So how do we know if we have one, if we go see a doctor? What do we need to keep in mind for that?
Well, you want to look at your foot. So if you look at your foot, you'll see that there's the big toe is moving towards the second toe.
Okay.
And there's a little bump on the outside of your big toe joint. That's the bunion. People come to my office all the time and say, I have bunions, and then the first thing they have is calluses. So a callus is not a bunion.
Okay.
The bunion is actually bone that's protruding from the part of your foot that's by the big toe joint.
Okay, very helpful. And what are some tips that you can give us maybe to prevent it from happening, or just some helpful health tips to keep in mind when it comes to bunions?
Well, you want to, first of all, if you have a bunion, you want to be able to separate the big toe from the second toe. You can use spacers. You can use different bunion splints. You can use different orthotics or inserts to go inside your shoe to help your foot in a better position so that you're not getting the bunion to begin with.
Yeah.
And then surgical intervention is there if you fail those other courses, or if you want to be part of a clinical study, you can be in a clinical study that involves surgical correction.
Wow, so many options. Okay, very good for us to consider all of this information. And so, you know, because again, it's National Bunion Day, we want people to really drive home this message. So any last remarks for us to keep in mind this national observance?
Well, if you have a bunion and you want to do something about it, give us a call for Futuro Clinical Trials, and we can try to help you, hopefully.
Very interesting. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, so Chris, I think we're going to go ahead and talk about weather right now. We're going from so many things, rap music to Cinco de Mayo to National Bunion Day and now to weather, right?
Yes, of course, weather. But of course, I have to say, my mom actually had the bunion removal surgery. And of course, that was a pretty lengthy recovery for her. But that was back years ago. And I'm not sure if the current situation now, how the recovery time is. But hey, if you are heading out the door, we are seeing those temps in the upper 60s. Harlingen 65 degrees. Brownsville